So what's happened with it's New Model Monday for the final time, and the New Model Monday we have seen is the Sisters Chaplain, the Dog Martyr, which everyone has been posting. Dogma, who made the Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, that's it.
Yeah, Dogma, brilliant film by the way. Everyone should watch that.
Great film.
It's one of my favourite Kevin Smith films. Jay and Silent Bob are already like a timeless classic as far as I'm concerned, but certainly Dogma is absolutely amazeballs. Yeah. This is a model that I will profess to really disliking.
Jay, you can't have an opinion.
I can have an opinion, and the chat can have their opinion as to why I can't have an opinion, and their opinion as to why I can't have an opinion is totally valid, the same as my opinion. I think it's really static, and I don't like that.
It is quite static, yeah.
It's not even like quite power stance either. So,
Jay, I've got a mute button, Jay.
Picture of her with the head on, and I think part of the reason why I don't like it is the face.
Yeah, it's a bit of a,
and the helmet.
I think a different paint job would really like make this miniature look a lot better. It looks a lot better there, and that's just changing. It's the robe looks weird, but like visuals aside, what does this mean? These essentially what the article says is these are essentially chaplains of the Sisters of Battle, or the Adeptus Sororitas, a Dog Martyr as it's called. So it says, in a similar manner to a chaplain of the Adeptus Astartes, a Dog Martyr is a personification of righteousness, leading her fellow sororitas in war hymns as she advances stoically into battle. So essentially, what can we imagine? This little chap is going to be enchanting little prayers in the command phase to give aura buffs or particular buffs to characters, much like a chaplain in the Space Marine army. So once again, Sisters of Battle stealing from the Space Marines. Because they've got the Predators now, and now they've got the Chaplains. What are they missing? They're missing... Well, they've got Apothecaries already.
They have power armor, yeah. Yeah, they got all that. What they're missing is flying tanks, basically.
Flying tanks, yeah, and 2 wounds.
That's how you make Space Marines feel like Space Marines now, is you give them flying tanks. So I saw this earlier on, and my mind immediately started thinking of things that we can bring up on the show based on this.
Mm-hmm.
And you just touched on one of them, is the fact that we've seen Sisters get basically a lieutenant.
Yeah.
That was the
Palatine.
So you've got your lieutenant. You've got everything else in power armor. Now you've got the Dog Martyr. Based on the way it sounds, essentially a chaplain.
Yeah, so this is the Palatine, which is essentially a lieutenant for Sabal.
How close are you going to get with the Imperium factions? Because very recently as well, we saw the Marshal from Admech, who are getting a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to end up at the point where Imperium armies all kind of feel the same? So let's say Imperial armies are coffee, and Space Marines are like your double shot hazelnut latte, but Sisters are your just vanilla gingerbread something or other. No, pumpkin spice, clearly.
Pumpkin spice,
your Admech are just your straight up black coffee.
Yeah.
Right? Is it all going to be, it all basically feels the same with a slightly different flavour?
I think that's the way it's going, because I imagine the Imperium would, not everyone would follow the Codex Astartes, but in the lore, the Imperium, especially the army, would like be made up in a very similar way. You know, like, because that would just make sense. They'd all definitely like...
It's the Imperial Creed, isn't it, I suppose, is what you're looking at there, rather than the Codex Astartes, and how the High Lords of Terror and the Grand Marshals of various orders and so on and so forth would probably take ideas that look good in other people's armies and try and incorporate those into their own. I'm not really worried about armies losing their individual look and feel very much with this, because this is clearly a Sisters of Battle person.
Oh yeah,
and it's the first miniature in the game to have a power baseball bat as well, which I really like. It's just, are you going to end up with that very... it already on the bat, yeah, nailed it. Where do you think a helmet went? It's like, home run. So, yeah, like, is it just going to be, I play Imperium, or I'm going to a tournament, I'm playing against Imperium, therefore I know roughly what it's going to do with a different flavour of things. And like, if the Penitent engine, obviously the Mortis engines and stuff we've seen, they're very Sisters of Battle. except they're also very orcs. That's like killer cannons.
Yeah, it looks like a killer cannon, but with a dreadnought sarcophagus.
Yeah, the Iron Maiden thing on the front of it.
The difference is they're not dead; they're alive in there. The dreadnoughts are alive as well, but a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, this one's alive and in great pain, rather than just alive in a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
Might have thought about this, and this is probably the more controversial thought.
Oh God.
Is for a very long time, there have been people all over social media saying, like, you should have female Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a way of GW kind of appeasing that a little bit? With if you have an army that basically plays the same as Space Marines, but with the pumpkin spice flavor, is that a little way towards kind of appeasing those people?
Maybe that could be. You could be on something. I think it's probably comes down to just having lots of assets, which would make sense. Because like Sisters of Battle, as I said, they are part of the Imperium. It would make sense to have someone of this in this position. Like I don't know much about the lore of like Sisters of Battle. I know a bit, but
in the old days, though, did they not? Was this not the only thing that the dude did? Because you had the one guy in a Sisters army, that was it. Only one bloke. The rest of them were Sisters. And he was the missionary, I think.
Yeah,
that was the name
the
of
priest
the unit.
Guy.
And that was what he did. Is this them sort of writing the one dude out?
Ryan McKenna says, Sisters of Battle female Marines. There's your clickbait title for the clip.
Absolutely, bro. Like,
oh God.
Hey, I thought of all of this beforehand. Yeah. I've got you covered for videos.
1 second, boys. I'm just going to write that down. But yeah, maybe I think like Sisters of Battle, from what I see, I think Sisters of Battle are we're female Space Marines, but we're also not. It kind of fills that gap that maybe people think that the game might need. Maybe people do think we need female Space Marines. I honestly don't care. If you want female Space Marines in your army, then by all means, I'm not bothered. If you want to put it in the lore, I don't care. Is the game good? That's all I care about. But I do feel like
with all that power armor on and a helmet on,
it's not going to matter.
Can you tell?
But yeah, so to me, adding something like this makes sense, and I think they're just like reusing some assets that they. Moving away from. So Space Marines are moving away from Predators because it's an old miniature. And why not just let the Sisters of Battle have it? Because again, it's an asset they're probably not going to revisit, because I don't think they're going to be revisiting any of the Firstborn assets for a while. So why not just... I don't. And Sisters have just had essentially a Rhino. Well, they have just had a Rhino in the past few years. They've had the
Forgewood one where you could shoot out of the vision slits.
Oh, they don't make that anymore, do they? The Repressor.
The Repressor, that's right. Yeah, that was the thing they had.
What's the
Exorcist?
Exorcist, that's it. Yeah. So they've obviously got the Exorcist, which is a Rhino chassis. Yeah. So why not keep making use of the Rhino chassis like they always have done, but make it a little bit different because it's a new miniature.
Well, they have like the Razorback, don't they? Which is the Immolator.
With the
flamers or melters. Mm-hmm. So you've got a Razorback, a Rhino, a Predator. The Exorcist, I guess you could kind of fit into a whirlwind kind of category.
Yeah.
So
sure.
You've heard it here first, guys. Sisters Land Raider confirmed.
Well, yeah, and it also makes sense.
It would, because you're probably not going to sell that many Land Raiders to anyone that doesn't play Dark Angels.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, again, it's just assets that they're not going to be visiting again, right? Mm-hmm. They're all about Primaris now, Primaris were True-Born Space Marines before they became Primaris, That's what was their plan. So they're kind of moving away from it for Space Marines, so why not let the Sisters use it, And I think that's really cool.
I totally think it's a right thing to do. Just from a perspective of, like, we've got these kits, and they're still good. The Rhino still looks good.
Yeah.
You don't look at a Rhino and go, God almighty, that looks so dated. You look at a Rhino and go, no, it's a Rhino.
Yeah.
Like, having all of those things is totally fine.
Yeah.
And the Sisters versions of all of these things. So I know I just said that the Immolator is basically a Razorback, but look at it. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. It's a really nice miniature. And so is the Rhino. It's not a Rhino with upgrade parts. It's a new kit, They've done a really nice job on it. So, I'm all for Sisters, doing a Blood Raven and taking what they're not using anymore. So, have at it.
One thing I do like about this kit, actually, I know I said I don't particularly like the model, and I stand by that. I don't like the stance and things, but that's my own just personal preference.
At the end of the day, if you don't like it, you can convert your own, right?
Yeah, and this sort of leads into that. They put a lot of thought into ways you can customize your Dogmata. So she has a hat and candles there. If you scroll down, sorry, she has no hat and candles. If you scroll down, she's got a hat and like an iron halo looking thing. I love these little extra things that they're allowing you to do to your mini because it fills space on a bit of sprue.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not let you have it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And again, if you don't like it, you buy that kit, you take the helmet, you take the backpack, you take the staff, and you just convert one, you know? The
I'll happily buy that candle top off you. If you don't use that, I'll buy that one part, please.
Yeah.
GW, please sell me that one part.
If you don't like this miniature, right, take this one, stick the backpack on, put the staff in that hand, looks cool again, you know? Put a bolt pistol there, maybe, or finger.
Yeah.
And you got your own Dogmata, and it looks cool. If you don't like the other one.
Yeah, definitely.
So
this is why converting, I think people call it kit bashing these days.
It's not
new. It's not a new thing at all. It's been a thing that everyone's done for years. They've looked at a miniature and gone, I don't like that. I want to do my own thing with like blackjack and hookers. Yeah. And it's just how you make your army personal to you. It's how you get the fuzz from your miniatures. So.